ये अपने होती रहेगी।
So am I audible?
It's better now. Yeah.
So should we start or should we still wait for a little moment?
We'll wait for 3 minutes, then we'll start.
Oh, okay, sir.
चलो देखते हैं। नहीं और इससे लाने वाली और जाते हैं और ये उसमें नहीं है जो लाने वाली जाते
Hi everyone. Good evening. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Advait Sapre, Advait Sapre, currently doing his internship at semester 6 as Sa Medical College, and I'll be moderating today's event for everyone. Hope I'm audible. So, we all know that we've gathered here to explore the various aspects of FMGs, including time management, study techniques, and stress management. And I'm very sure all of us are well acquainted with the anxiety and the pressure and overall everything, the nervousness associated with sitting through an exams. So today, to help us with, we have Advait Sapre, who is also an alumni of SA Medical College and batch 2017. He cleared his FMG in 2023 and is currently doing his internship at Dr. DY Patil Hospital and Research Center Pune. And he's also an AHA certified in ALS and BHL provider and is preparing for his PLAB and GSS registrations. Over to you, sir.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as we all know, we have to appear for FMG examination after we clear in our medical college, and that is a screening exam. As everyone know, everyone has to go through that, and it is going to be there this year as well, and for foreseeable future as well now, because the next initiative has been postponed until further notice. So it is important to know what to expect and how to prepare for this exam. So Miss Aditi is going to ask me questions, and I'll be answering those questions. Over to you now.
Thank you so much, sir. So I can see a few more people have joined. Welcome to all who've just joined us. So first and foremost, sir, I would like to ask you, what's the format for FMG exam and what is the topic it specifically covers?
One second, I'm just sharing my screen now so
Yes, sir.
everyone can see it. So yeah, it's visible now, right? My screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So like you said, the format of FMG exam, as everyone knows, is MCQ. It's a computer based, so that means you have to select an option on a computer screen. It's a program, and you can edit your answer. That's one thing. Like in OMR sheet, once you have marked, it's gone. You cannot change it. But over here, after you have completed, you can return back and edit your answer. And if you are unsure about this or unsure about an answer, you can flag those questions and answers. What are questions that you have not attempted, or you have some doubt regarding that. And once you have finished the entire question set, you can come back if the time remains. So basically, there are two parts, each of 150 minutes. So there's part one, it has 150 questions, 150 minutes, and part two, which has again 150 questions and 150 minutes. So there's no negative marking. So if you don't know any answers, there's no harm in clicking like selecting a guess answer. So the part one, as I said, consists of all paraclinical subjects, and part two consists of all clinical subjects. So paraclinical is all first year and second year, and clinical is final year. And about third year, that is your community medicine, your ophthalmology, and ENT. They are some of the questions might come in part one, and some of the questions might come in part two as well. So that is the gist of that is a format. So what's the next question?
Yes, sir. So, thank you so much, sir. So, what will be the timeline for each subject specifically, and which subjects should we study more for an effective preparation?
Okay, so I can say it's quite subjective thing. I'll tell what I had done. So once you have completed your final year, you are quite well versed in clinical subjects, and everyone usually tend to forget what they had studied in first year, second year. So I feel that is where you should begin. But before that, I'll tell you which is the most scoring subject in FMG. That is CM. That's the community medicine, and it takes longest because over here in our colleges we don't really cover the policies and other committees and those kinds of questions. So it takes some time to study those things and memorize. It's all about memorizing in this aspect. So CM takes some time. So that is what I started with. Then I completed first year subjects like anat, biochem, physio. In this, anat and biochem has more weightage that you, and it's more scoring as well, especially biochem, because there are fixed answer to it and there are fixed questions that they usually ask. And in second year, people I said certain questions, but FMT is one subject that you can cover really fast. So these two are again important subjects that you need to do. Um, so this is that's what I started with, and this roughly took me around 2 months to complete. And in remaining 1 month, I completed all the clinical subjects and opthal ENT. It took me around 1 month. So my focus, and I would suggest one more thing, that is what you should really focus on is solving MCQs, because that's what matters. You don't have to write long answers like we used to write in college. It's more about solving many questions and different types of questions and getting used to the format that is followed. So this will take 3 months, and remaining 3 months you can just solve questions and visit topics which you think need more focus. That is my timeline. That is what I did.
Yes, sir. So, what I wanted to ask was, in college, we're taught very strict recommended study periods. So we should start from our semester, like I'm in semester 6, so we should start as early as possible for a better result. Like, which is the recommended study material?
So this is again I'll share my experience. What I did was, in my final year I took subscription of online teaching programs like Prep Ladder. So I saw those questions, I saw those videos, topics which I thought were difficult from final year itself. What happened? So I used Prep Ladder videos, extensive one, not the rapid revision one, in final year. It helped me with my final year exam as well. So it's beneficial in both ways. And then after that, once I graduated, I ordered Prep Ladder notes, the extensive one for FMGE. Actually, these are quite extensive notes. they anything that was asked in FMG paper, it almost came from these, and they are helpful for future studies as well. Like if you are trying to appear for INICET or NEET PG, so these notes will be very helpful. And then I bought a book called FMGE Solutions, which is just MCQ based. They are just MCQs and their explanations. So this is the resource that I used, and of course, like some of my friends, they attended other different um, online programs, and also some YouTube videos that people usually see, and they get like different study material from Telegram as well. So like there is ample of study material available over there. This is what I used, and then for preparing for the exam, this is what I used in first 3 months. Then after the remaining 3 months, like we usually get 6 months, you guys will also get 6 months. It's more than enough. I solved all tests that Prep Ladder or any other program that you want to follow were offering, because this is the most crucial part that I feel: solving tests, solving PYQs, previous year questions, and FMG solution, again MCQs. So basically, like how we prepare in colleges to study, to memorize answers. This is not what you are supposed to do for MCQ exams. For MCQ exams, what I would suggest is you just solve MCQs, as much as possible, and learn from mistakes. Try not to do mistakes. And if you do a mistake, if you stuck somewhere, you can just refer to notes. This is how you should study. You shouldn't be like, I'll memorize all the notes, then write MCQs. It should be the opposite way. That's what I feel. So these are the resources that I used. The next question. Any doubt? Like if anyone has any doubt, they can type it
Yeah,
in the chat
if
box.
questions or doubts they want to ask, they can just write it in the chat box. We can, or they can raise their hands. We can unmute them. Yeah. So, sir, moving ahead, I would like to ask, what's the passing score for FMG exam?
So passing score for FMGA is just 150 out of 300. But as if anyone is following any news and all, even if you pass FMG nowadays, it's very difficult for you to get seat in the desired medical college or teaching medical college that you want, because of current rules and regulations of NMC and local medical councils. So you should aim to get maximum marks, because nowadays many medical boards have started adopting merit system. In Maharashtra, they did. It was a merit based, and the higher marks you scored, it was more likely that you would get the medical college or government medical college or teaching medical college that you want. So people who scored less, who passed, basically, they didn't really get any choice. But like if you score 150 plus, you are passed, and then you can apply for provisional lists.
So, sir, I want to ask you, sir, louder in the MG exam.
Unlimited. You can take as many attempts as you want, but of course you'll be wasting time then. So as you know, the FMG exam is held twice a year, and the gap between two exams is 6 months. So if you miss one, you will have to wait for 6 months. And people will not tell you like just after you clear your FMG exam, the entire process of getting registered with a medical council can take a couple of months, at least 2 months at least. So it's a lot of time. So you should possible. It's not that difficult to do. So
And
yeah.
so I wanted to ask you, on a personal level, you had any strategies or any tips for everyone for managing stress, and what have you done for managing stress?
Okay, I will tell both. Like I'll first tell strategies that, because it is humanly impossible to know everything, even if you study 24 hours. So my first go-to is recollect. You have studied every last 5 years. Even if you don't remember everything at a point, you can say like, oh yeah, I had studied this. Yeah, I had listened to this lecture. So then you can take educated guesses based on that, and you'll be mostly in right, because FMG exam, the questions that are framed are quite direct. So there will be, out of four options, there will be two which are blatantly wrong, not even close. So that just goes out of the window. So there'll be one correct answer and one answer that is like somewhat correct. So for this thing, you can of course take an educational guess, and it turns out to be right most of the times. And by practice, like this, you will get by practice. Like even if you don't know something, don't be afraid. Just try to take an educational guess. That's what I did. And secondly, personally, that I said is just solve more and more papers, because how much marks I scored in mock exams, nearly plus minus 10, 15 marks I got in the original exam. So this really prepares you for the scenario. And if you have joined some online program, they have an interface which resembles the one we are having in at the test centers. So you get very well versed with those kind of things. So solving papers is most. This will up your confidence. If you once you get a hang of it, it'll up your confidence. And secondly is take rest. It's not like if you study overnight, you will crack exam, because there are 20 subjects. It's not like last minute preparations will be of any benefit. So take rest, eat, exercise, uh, watch something that will distract your mind, and study what 8 hours 8 hours per day. That's more than enough. That's more than enough if you study regularly. And I would suggest like solving papers is the key. It's the key.
And sir, I wanted to ask if there's any negative marking which is there in the exam.
Like I said,
Like
no
we,
negative marking. No negative
okay,
marking.
okay, sir.
So
And sir, the
so
specific
you are not
eligibility.
losing anything. So you should solve each and every question, even if you don't know. Just solve it, because there is some probability that you might get it right. And if you leave it, actually you're losing out.
And sir, the specific eligibility criteria or requirements for appearing for the exam.
So to appear for the exam, there's like nothing specific. Once you pass out from here, our college will provide us with almost everything. But I'll tell you what you require to apply. That is that is number one, your degree. If you didn't receive it in time, you can give your transcript, which is apostille. Then secondly, you would require is your standard 10th and standard 12th board certificate. Third is your passport. Fourth and most important is your MCI eligibility certificate. So you applied for this when you joined SSR Medical College. So there were some of my batchmates who had misplaced it or didn't get it from MCI, because that time it was transitioning from MCI to NMC, that is there. So they faced some issues. So you need to make sure that you have this document, MCI certificate, before you apply. And if you don't have it, as soon as you go home, first thing you should do is get it. And last thing that you would scan that billboard, something that you're going to say, and your online photo, biometric, artificial intelligence, face scanning thing that they have now recently implemented, and it should match 90%. So there were some people like who had changed their hairstyle or change their appearance, and they were facing some kind of issue with that. So to not, you need to really focus on this thing, that you abide by all the rules that they have said. I think so. That's all you require for applying, at least.
Okay, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to ask you, sir, what's about, is this that follows the registration process, or there's some other registration that is specific for the exam? And when,
Registration. I'll show you where it is. So you have to go to this website called as natboardedu.in. So once you go over there, you have to go to examinations, and in examinations you will have FMGE examinations. So once you go, so now you'll see over here that they have got application link for June 2023. So okay, okay, so always you these ones. So over here they have got link and everything. I'll try to open it. I'll Okay, you just have to go on this website. Over here you will get a link, you'll get a window where you can start your application, like start a new application, and you can upload your documents. You should read all the rules and regulations, because they need application in certain way, of certain size, and if you compress your documents, they should be clear. So all those things, and you don't have to worry that if you uploaded some documents wrong or some documents are missing. Before the exam, they'll give you many slots over where during that time you can go and edit your application. So that's not an issue. So that is what you should do for application. um, Next question.
yes, sir. So, can you provide us information about the exam centers and the scheduling options?
Yeah, exam centers scheduling, it's like I said, it happens twice a year, fixed time. It's, the times are fixed, like whenever they're going to happen. And when you are applying and giving the registration fees and everything over there in the application itself, you'll get option to choose centers. But those like choices of centers are quite subjective. Like sometimes some centers might be available, they might not be available. um, Majorly all metropolitan cities in India, they are a center, but sometimes some slots might get full. Like few of my batchmates who were from Delhi, by the time they got through with their application, all the Delhi seats were filled, so they had to apply to other states. So many of them came to Bombay. Some of them even came to Pune to give examination. So that you'll have to see. So that I cannot say it's, but all metropolitan cities are there. Like few of my friends from Goa, they had a center in Goa, but at last moment, because of technical problems, like not last moment, like when they had completed their application, they said like the center will no longer be functioning, so they had to come to Mumbai. So majorly all metropolitan cities are there, but it's all like once you start filling the form, that time you'll get to know which centers are available to you.
And so, what are the career prospects for foreign medical graduates after clearing FMGE exam?
So like 150 plus, you get your provisional license, and after completing of 1 year of uh, your internship, medical internship, CRMI they call it, compulsory rotational medical internship, in all the departments, you will get your permanent license. And like one more thing that many people don't know is you have to get a score of 165 plus if you want to apply for exam INICET, which is for AIMS, JIPMER, and all those prestigious universities. So you need a score of 165 plus to appear for this exam. If you get below 165, you won't be able to appear for these exams. So that is important. Most of the people they don't know this. And like I said, nowadays you need good marks, like maximum that you can get to get a good medical college to do your internship. So these are the only two career prospects that I can say. It's basically a screening exam, so not much, just to get registered. Next.
So moving forward, I would like to ask you, so how hard is it compared to all the other competitive exams, the FMG exam?
So see, it's subjective. Like I can say, 50% of questions are direct. Like as soon as you read the question, you will know, yeah, this is the answer. Next 20% would be like, okay, fine, yeah, I know the answer, but maybe something like, and some 10% questions are quite difficult. They next 20-30% questions, they will be a little bit difficult. They usually take questions directly from NEET PG or INICET. So that's why I like Prep Ladder, because they have got this thing called as question banks, Q banks, which have got FMGE, INICET, and NEET PG questions which appeared in FMG exam. So if you solve this, it's you will get a very good idea. And even by solving the like mock exams that they conduct every month, and previous year questions, you will get an idea like what questions come, what kind of. But the thing is, you don't have to be that stressed, because even if they ask question from these exams, they're quite direct. Like they're not trying to confuse you like they usually do. There's one direct answer that you know, that if you know this answer, you will be able to answer these questions. So difficulty level wise, it's quite passable if you study properly. Our college has got a very good stellar record in clearing these exams, because they really teach us what they usually ask in these exams. And you would notice once you start solving papers and all, the MCQ tests that we used to get in colleges, the questions in FMG are quite similar to those MCQ tests that we used to get. So you just have to study hard. It's not even hard, like study consistently, plan, and execute. That's it.
And so I would like to ask you, on a personal level, what difficulties did you face during the preparations, and how did you combat those difficulties further?
See, difficulties that I faced was, first of all, I wasted a lot of time doing first year and second year topics, and that really then, like, by the time I finished that, I was having a feeling that I am forgetting major subjects like medicine, OBG, surgery, and CM to some extent. So that is also a thing, like you should not give a lot of time to one particular thing, because as you should remember, there are 20 subjects that are coming, and there is always something that you might not be able to cover. So instead of chasing after that, you should play to your strengths. It's okay, I don't want to study this subject. Okay, I hate biochemistry, I don't want to waste that much time, so I will just solve question banks of it and try to memorize answers, because I don't really have the mental capacity to do all the cycles and all that you studied in first year again. So the thing is, play to your strengths. That's it. So if you like a particular subject, and you should solve more questions of that, not to chase something that you don't know for like weeks, days, like you used to do in college. So basically, all you have to do is score maximum. So this is what I did.
So, sir, it's basically more of a competitive kind of a study
Yes,
than the
yes, yes,
subjective one.
yes. That's precisely
Usually.
that's precisely what it is.
And so you were told us that we should more focus towards our final part one and final part two subjects rather than wasting time on subjects that we've already studied in the in the few semesters before.
Yeah, you can just like once you start preparing, study what you don't know and solve papers. Ideally, you shouldn't spend that much time on final year subjects as well, because you have been studying those subjects for last 2 years, like final part one and final part two. So you are studying those subjects. So it shouldn't be like you're wasting couple of months studying just final year subjects. You should get done with those first and second year subjects as soon as possible, and then after that you can do quick revision of final part 1 and 2 in 1 month, this 2 months, and remaining 3 months just solve questions, Q&A. That's it. And whatever mistakes that you do or whatever topics you don't do, then you revise those topics and don't make those mistakes again. And you will find some, like, what do you say, pearls and all those from these kind of things. Questions are usually asked, so you will get those things on prep ladder or any other program that you are following. So important questions and, what do you say, pearls they call it, you revise those in last 3 months. This is what I did. And play to your strength always. Don't go chasing after something that you don't know, because there is a very low probability that first of all it'll come in exam, and even if it comes in exam, hardly a question or two will come, which you can guess. You can do guesswork or whatever. You can just leave also if you want, but you should focus on your strength and increase your probability of getting higher marks. That's it, because it's a very competitive exam now. One previously in our previous batches, getting 150 was sufficient. It's okay, it's fine, you'll get whatever you want. But since now a lot of people are coming, like this year there were 30,000 applicants from all over the world. Mauritius, China, Philippines, Russia, Ukraine, and now only 10,000 applicants. Now did FMGE, and only 625 people, they got above 200. So these people, they have liberty to choose whichever medical college that they want. So you can see it is getting competitive nowadays. So it's basically one third passing. So you need to focus on your strengths and get done with studying part as soon as possible, and spend most of your time giving exams, giving tests, and revising stuff that you don't know, or which you have, or wherever you have made mistakes, or wherever you think you need more efforts in those remaining time. So this is what I did.
And so I wanted to ask you, is 6 months an appropriate time for like we get an ample, is 6 months the appropriate time for like the preparations, or there's it turned out to be less even if we're not managed properly, the time
See,
management part?
6 months is more than enough time. Some people usually do it in 3 months also. You will be able to crack it. 6 months is ideal preparation time. Like I said, getting done with all the study work in first 3 months, and then just revising for 3 months. 3 months revision is more than enough. 1 month revision is also more than enough, but 3 months you will sure shot do well in the examination. It's not that difficult to crack it. Like, don't get demotivated. I'm just stating the facts. What you need to be worried about. That's what I'm stating. But like I said, like we have been studying medicine for last 5 years, so it's not like we don't know anything. All we need to do is revise, recollect whatever we had studied, because we have studied all the subjects quite extensively in our college, and then just prepare for the exam by solving as many questions as possible, as many papers as possible. So that is what is needed. 6 months is more than enough
Okay,
for
so
most of the
that's
people.
with questions, I guess. So if anyone has any doubt, they can ask or they can write in the chat box and we can raise their hand, we can unmute them.
जल्दी खत्म होता है बोल दिया है कि मैंने निकाला ही नहीं आधा अच्छा अच्छा
There's one question, I guess. Um, is AMCRC is associated flag hospital or doesn't have its own hospital? Will this affect our eligibility according to new NMC rules? Um, I have a few batchmates from Anna Medical College who are in DY Patil, and they didn't face, as long as you have got the MCI eligibility certificate and your college is recognized by National Medical Council, there shouldn't be any issues. Does that answer the question?
I guess there's somebody who's raised their hand. Divyanshi Jain also wants to ask something.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So, if you, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening. So, actually, I wanted to ask that. So, like I said, right. So, this new NMC rule says that the college should has its own hospital, like own hospital. Like Flag Hospital is not doesn't belong to our college, right? So,
Own hospital.
like for my batch, 2022 batch.
Hmm. You are from 2022 batch, right?
Yes, sir.
I don't think so. That's an issue because you guys are affiliated to University of Technology or University of Mauritius, and all of these government colleges, they come under those. So I don't think so. Technically, there should be any problem, but you should confirm this with your authorities, your um, Anna Medical College authorities. I think so. They will give you a
Okay,
better
okay,
answer on this one.
okay. Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions?
So I don't think there are any other questions. If anyone has any doubts, they can still ask. I guess everybody. I think there's no questions yet.
Okay, that's good.
So, sir, that's it. And I would like to conclude by thanking Sir for sparing his valuable time and giving us all the information about the process and his insightful advice. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot, and I like this initiative that has been taken by all the students of SSR. It's a really nice thing that you're doing.
We've just started, so we're actually asking for more and more contribution and more participation for more events further.
Yeah, sure, you can reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to join with you guys again. Thanks a lot.
Yes. And I would also like to extend my gratitude to the President of GAIMS Mauritius, Dr. Abhishek Kashyap, and Ankit Sir, who's the Director of Medical Education Society GAIMS, for making this event possible. And I would also like to thank the members of the tech team who've helped us throughout the event. And thank you for your wonderful response. Hope to see you all in further events. And the link for the e-certificates has been posted in the chat box. So everybody please register for your e-certificates. Thank you.